our first guest tonight joins us from the great state of Texas as he enters the exclusive Three-Timers Club on the SquadCast. Ross Stripling, hello. Welcome to the show again. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for taking some time to join us tonight.
Of course, guys. Happy holidays. Thanks for having me back.
We were just saying in the break how we've had you join us in 2 hotels, but never at your house. So you got the nice setup behind you and everything. It looks like you guys are ready for Christmas over there.
Yeah, we're trying to be festive. You know, I got a about to be 10-month-old, so it'll be his first Christmas. So trying to bring in the spirit and have a good time. He obviously won't have any clue what's going on or remember it whatsoever, but we will. So it's fun. Yeah, we got the tree set up right there. You can see the passport. It's hard to point. I'm like mirrored in this picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, it looks good. We're proud of it.
How's his fastball looking? How's the little guy's fastball looking?
It's coming along. Yeah, we. I just pepper him with balls all day long. Like just keep feeding it to him, and he'll kind of pick it up and shake it, and then every now and then let one rip. But for the most part, he just kind of shakes it, drops it, picks up another one. So we're working on it, but it's gotten a lot better.
Is he a lefty or a righty? Is that a determined factor yet?
It is not, man. I would have bet my life that he was going to be left-handed through the first 6 months of his life. I mean, he did everything with his left hand, and now he's kind of like half and half. So it seems like we're trending in the wrong direction there. There's only one lefty in the whole family, my wife's dad. So we're hoping his genes pass through strongly, but it's trending more towards righty at the moment.
I have a regret in life. And my nephew growing up, he tended to throw with his left hand, but I noticed that sometimes he was a little bit more natural with his right, so I told him to change. And I was like, I'm looking back now, he's in grade 12. He's about to graduate, but I was like, man, if he would have been a lefty, maybe, who knows?
And that was the end of your pitching coach career.
And that's when, yeah. So, Ross, before we get to baseball talk, obviously we have some crazy stuff to talk to you about with that, and some off-season stuff. We have some questions about that. I'm wondering how close you're paying attention to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl with your alma mater, Texas A&M Aggies, taking on Wake Forest Demon Deacons down in, I think it's Jacksonville, coming up on New Year's Eve. You paying attention to that?
Sounds like you know better than me, man. This.
I Googled it before the show.
This was the year the Texas A&M Aggies were coming in like top 10, ready to make a real run. We beat Bama, somehow, and then we couldn't beat LSU to finish the season. So we're going to kind of be in a halfway decent bowl against a good Wake Forest team, but our quarterback just hit the transfer portal, so we're not even going to have our quarterback. I think our running back just committed to the NFL along with our best defensive lineman. Like, we're going to be playing pretty shorthanded. So, I can't say take the Aggies in the spread or anything like that at this point because I just don't know what kind of team we're going to run out there.
They are the underdogs. They're 8-4 this year. Wake Forest was 10-3, so it's going to be an interesting game. I just saw that the Longhorns of Texas just committed, I think, like the top quarterback available prospect, so that they could be.
Yeah, that kid went to my high school.
Oh, there you go. The kid who committed.
Yeah, so he went to my high school. He left a year early. Went to Ohio State. Basically, just took him for everything they had at Ohio State for a year. Said I'm out. Went to the transfer portal. Now back to UT Austin.
Clever. Interesting. Okay, well there you go. So it could be a big couple years for the Texas Longhorns coming up. Max,
you know what? And that doesn't bother me. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. Everyone always tries to get me all fired up about UT sports. I think the world is better when Texas is good at sports, and I think they should play the Aggies every year in every sport. I'd rather watch the Longhorns be good than the Baylor Bears or the Oklahoma Sooners any day. And my mom went to UT. My dad went to A&M. I've been a split household forever. So I always think bring it on, Texas Longhorns. It's just more fun when they're good.
Yeah, without question, Ross. And I mean, I guess we'll lay off the pigskin. We'll get to the baseball talk, as it were. But it's been a little while since we've gotten a chance to catch up. I mean, the season finished up, obviously an incredible one. 91-71 finish for the team, literally coming down to the last day of the season. I know I can speak from the fan base's perspective about how exciting it was right to the bitter end. But what was that last month of the season like for you guys, obviously going through it? And obviously a bit of a tough way that it ended. But did it lead to some good messages kind of going into this off season? I guess what was that message from Charlie, from Ross, from everybody about what to expect and hopefully a 2022?
Jeez, yeah.
Sure, yeah, loaded question right there. I feel like I talk about this for a half hour. Yeah,
you're off the floor, Ross. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is my show now.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys. That last month was amazing, man. It really was. It was a ton of fun. Obviously, to be back in Toronto playing, they opened it up to more fans there at the end when those games really mattered. So, everyone was really hyped up, having a good time, enjoying those baseball games, which was really fun to see for us. Like you said, we came up a game short, and it was in a devastating way, man. Like the Yankees, I think, walked them off right as we won. And then we get inside right when Devers hits a 3-run homer for Boston to basically seal our fate. Yeah. It was heartbreaking, man. It really was, because we knew how good of a team we had, and we knew what kind of damage we could have done if we just got in. And we came up a game short, man. If you gave us another week, we were probably in there, no doubt, right? I mean, we were playing really good baseball, and we just ran out of time. And a crazy year where we moved 3 times and had 3 home stadiums and all that went into it that you guys already know about. To come up a game short, it was heartbreaking. And then the message, from Charlie and Atkins and Pete Walker and all the guys, Simeon, Springer, the leaders of our team, all said words as well. And everyone said great things. Just, man, nobody hold your head down after this season. Everybody hold it high, because what we went through, no team has ever had to go through in the hardest division in baseball. And we were right there and competed every day, and had some unbelievable talent on the field, and some of the awards that guys obviously reeled in were well-deserved. And it's just amazing to be a part of, man. I said all the time that some of the teams I was in LA were as talented and as good as any team you could possibly be on. And this Blue Jays team could have competed with those teams any day. And I truly believe that. So I wish we could have played, 81 home games in Toronto. We probably would have won 60 of them. I mean, we were just played so good there. Long story short there, man, it was heartbreaking. It really was.
So we saw an interesting playoff, obviously, after including the Braves with that magical run at the end. If I recall, you guys had your way with the Braves this season. Does that make you guys feel any type of way, knowing that you guys had a good time against the Braves this year?
Well, I'll tell you what, personally it does, because I pitched well against them. I think one of them I was in Atlanta when I talked to you guys about to face them the next day or so. And that's when I was really struggling. Yeah. So I firmly believe that anytime you guys ask me to come on this show, I'm going to come on, because I think only good things happen afterwards, right? Because that's when I kind of turned my season around. But yeah, definitely we played good teams well all year. We played well against our division. We played well against all the teams above 500. I don't know what our record is. I could be spitballing, but I feel like we stepped up to the plate in big games against good teams and took care of business. So, to say that we played well against the World Series winner is kind of like one of those bittersweet things, like whatever, they went and did it and we were watching from our couches. But, it was a really talented team and we played them well.
Mm-hmm. Since that happened, there's been a lot of things happening, both with free agency and then obviously in the lockout, and we'll get to the lockout in a sec. But the Jays added some new teammates for you. Kevin Gausman being one, Yimi Garcia being the other. I think there was maybe a couple other kind of shiftier moves made. But how do you feel about Gausman stepping into the locker room? I know obviously Robbie Ray is out, so that's a big change. But Gausman's made a couple of strides lately in his career, in the last couple of years. So how do you feel about him coming into the locker room?
I love it. I mean, we lock up Barrios long term. That guy is
that's another one.
A workhorse, as good as anybody. He really is, year in and year out. So to lock him up is a huge deal. And then to get Gausman, who's been really as good as anybody the last 2 seasons. What he's done in San Francisco has been elite. He's got probably the best splitter in baseball. Like if you're talking changeup splitter, his might be the very best. It's certainly up there. His ability to keep guys off balance is as good as anyone. And so, to have him now in our rotation that's already really strong is a huge advantage for us. Like I said, it's a really hard division. So you got to have a strong rotation. And we certainly have that at the moment. And then, Yimi Garcia is a guy that I played with in 2013 AA. I mean, I came up the Dodgers with him. I've known him forever. He's like one of the first guys that I remember having like a spin rate fastball where he would throw 94 kind of down the middle or like middle up, and guys would miss it by a foot. And you're like, what is this guy doing? Like, how do I do this? He was one of the first guys I ever saw to do that. And he's obviously gone on to have a great career. I think basically pitched in every playoff game for the Astros. So he's a workhorse as well. Devastating on righties. So he'll be a huge asset for our bullpen. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to be a part of a team like the Blue Jays that are going out, getting assets and trying to win baseball games right now, which is part of the lockout and part of the reason we're in the situation we're in is there's a lot of teams not doing that. But I've been very lucky in my whole career to be on a team that wants to win. And obviously the Blue Jays are, continuing to do that.
And that's super exciting. And hopefully when this, all this lockout stuff is done, we can see a little bit more, and we can see how the team's going to shape up as we go into the season, because it should be an exciting one, as we've all kind of talked about already. With the lockout, was this something that, was it looming for you all season long? And when the season ended, were you kind of like in the back of your mind thinking, this is probably going to happen? Or did it kind of surprise you a little bit? Did it take you off guard a little bit? How did that all kind of go down in your brain?
Well, it's kind of in the middle, I would say. I technically was a part of the last CBA, but I was a rookie, and I was like an alternate rep to Justin Turner for the Dodgers, so I wasn't that involved. I am our union rep for the Blue Jays, so I was on every call. And throughout the season, they kind of started in April and May, and there not a lot going on, and then we'd take big breaks, and you kind of hop back on and do some bargaining, take some breaks. And really, through the whole season, we made zero progress, right? So you kind of understood that, like, okay, we got a lot to accomplish here in a short amount of time. And as the calls really didn't pick up and we weren't starting to, basically get anywhere for the month of November, it was, the writing was kind of on the wall. It really was. I think that it was pretty obvious that we were going to have a work stoppage. And, it's a shame that it came to that. And I wish we could have gotten some more stuff done in Dallas when the two sides were able to get together, but it just didn't work out that way, man. We're adamant about the things that we want to change, and we're steadfast and we're strong as a group. And, we're ready to make the game better for us, for fans, for everyone involved, in our opinion. So, like I said, it's a bummer that right now we don't know when the game's going to pick back up. Hopefully it's on time. But like I said, our feet are firmly in the ground, ready to fight this thing and make sure that, it comes out the way that it should.
And all the power to you on that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously it's a complex issue. I know you can't sit here and go through like every detail with us. I mean, we just could record a whole different show, but is there a couple that stand out as ones that you would really like to see change? Maybe not like even the bigger ones necessarily, but a couple of things that as a player yourself and been through the ranks of, minor leagues and everything, is there a couple that you'd really like to see changed?
Yeah, of course. I mean, off the top of my head, among many things that we're trying to implement, we want teams to win. Like, players want to win. We want to win every game that we play. So it would be frustrating to be a part of a team or an organization that doesn't want to win. That's kind of counterintuitive. We want every team to go out there and want to win every game that they play. And I think that would be the best product on the field. 2, the best players in the world need to be out there. Right? No more service time manipulation, no more keeping Vladdy Jr. in the minor leagues longer than he should, that kind of stuff. If you're ready for the big leagues, you should be in the big leagues. This is Major League Baseball. These are the best players in the world, and we want them on the field. So that's a big part of it as well. And then the economic stuff, there's a lot there for sure. You talk about raising the minimum or getting guys paid earlier, all sorts of stuff that can go into that one. We'll see how that shakes up. That's definitely the biggest battle between the two sides, no doubt about it. But, man, at the end of the day, we want to incentivize teams to win, and we want to have the best players on the field for 162 games every year. And that's going to be the best product that we can give fans. And when fans are fired up about baseball, they come to games, they watch on TV, and that makes everything better. So we feel like if we can solve those two things, the product gets better automatically.
Yeah, Ross, and I mean, again, as Clark alluded to, right, it's definitely we're a tandem that stands with the players on this side of the ledger anyways, and it's been awesome to see the united front. Obviously, we've seen the things going on with Twitter, and again, like the united front that the players are presenting, it's great to see, and again, hopefully works out in a good resolve in the end. But, I mean, we saw Commissioner Manfred's statement to the fans anyways, his address to the fans, the big, nice white paper with the logo of the league on it, and, I mean, obviously it wasn't received all that well. I'm interested, though, from the player's perspective, if you had some sort of, I guess, State of the Union, couple of sentence message to pass along to the fans, what would it be?
Oh, good question, man. Yeah, put me on the spot right there with that one. I think it's hang with us, a little. Yeah, for real, got me. Hang with us. Obviously, we don't want this to be the way our game is headed. The 2020 season got fought and dragged through the mud and fought on, through social media and through media outlets. I don't think either side is happy with the way that went or proud of that. We don't want this to be like that again. But at the end of the day, we understand that the game needs to be changed a little bit. We need to update some things. We need to upgrade some things. So, fans, please hang with us. We want to be on the field. We want to play, and we want to play on time. But at some point, you got to fight for what you believe in. And we're at that point right now. And you got to make the game better for those behind you. The ones that went on strike in 1994, man, they didn't play a World Series. And they implemented some things that are still in our game today. Like they did that for us. 30 years later, I'm thinking those guys saying thank you so much for fighting for us. In 30 years, maybe players will be saying the same thing about this generation. So, hang with us, please, fans. We want to be out there, and it will happen soon. And I hope this doesn't get too ugly, but we're ready to get back and play the game we all love.
Well, Ross for Union Rep. I mean, that you kind of nailed it. That's a great message to pass along. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you ask Blue Jays fans and Montreal Expos fans how they felt about not playing in 1994.
Absolutely.
Because I know they still hold a little bit of a grudge about that one. Also, just a note for you, Ross. You guys were playing at a 59-win pace in Toronto. Just so you're aware of that. San Francisco led the MLB with 56 home wins. So that was a pretty good pace. That's from our resident statistician, Craig Ballard. Shout out to Craig. He's all over that stuff. And also from Craig, he has a question for you. Now, this is about your off-season regiment. Now, this is going into kind of your training schedule for an off-season. But with the lockout obviously happening and, certain dates probably to – you probably have circled on your calendar, especially as our union rep, of like, hey, we need to either have something done by this date or, we have to push it back, or we have to do this and we have to push it back. How much is that? Like, what is there a date, I guess, that you're looking forward to that you say it's going to legitimately throw a wrench in your off-season training regiment? Because I'm sure that you have kind of, okay, I'm going to take 2 months and do this, and then I'm going to take 2 months and progress to this. Or how does your off-season work? Is there some sort of deadlines that you're looking at as could change your off-season?
As of now, the answer would be no, but that could happen quickly and change to a yes. I mean, right now, I think if you were to ask 99% of us, we're staying the course. We're ready to be out of town in the middle of February and starting spring training and playing in games, late February, early March, and getting ready for a season. And I think that's the mentality you have to have right now. If it gets to be the first week of February and we're not making any progress, I don't know that I'd necessarily change much, because I do think it's going to be kind of a shotgun start, right? If this bleeds into, think about like the 2020 season, right? Where it was kind of all of a sudden we got a 60-game season, let's get going, and everyone did spring training at their big league sites. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. That could happen again. And the guys that showed up that had kept working during that downtime and showed up already ready to throw 3 innings, had faced some live hitters, had taken some live at bats, those guys had a real advantage, and those guys, really excelled in that 60-game season. So I believe that. I think get ready as if the season's starting on time, and if it doesn't, then you just kind of keep progressing forward as if the season was going. I'm facing hitters. I live in Houston. I'm lucky to live in a city that doesn't get cold. I got tons of big league talent around me, minor league talent around me. We can get together and go to a field and play a pickup game. And that way, if they say, hey, season's on, spring training's in 4 days, you're like, all right, I'm ready. Put me on a plane. So I think that's the mentality you got to have.
Can you guys make Sandlot 3 and potentially you guys could star in it, and just like get a documentary maker to come out and just film you guys playing on some like elementary school playground or something? I think that'd be some great content if you guys are looking for content.
I agree completely. I will say, obviously a tough name in the media right now for a variety of ways, but Trevor Bauer does things like that. And actually get some big league talent, and they like go play in the desert and have like live at bats and stuff. It's actually pretty amazing to watch. But yeah, I agree. If we could get, just the guys I work out with, like Anthony Rendon, Kevin Biggio, George Springer, Tyler Duffy's a pitcher, Tyler Naquin's a hitter. Like, we got some big league talent around. We could go put a nice team. We could put a little game together, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Max, I don't know if you know this, but like Texas is kind of a hotbed for baseball.
Kind of a big deal for baseball. A little bit different than up here.
Baseball.
Yeah, up here in Saskatchewan, we maybe get about 3.5, 4 months of good ball. That's about it.
We play our baseball on hockey rinks in the winter here.
Pretty much.
Take us through a typical day, I guess, of a pitcher, because I know pitchers train a lot differently than hitters. Take us through a typical day of an off season for a pitcher, especially because I know, like I said, I feel like from my memory of training as a pitcher back in the day, you'd go through different stages kind of an off season. You want to do some strength building, and then you want to take it into endurance, and then et cetera, et cetera. What is a typical day like for you?
Wait, you did strength building?
I wasn't very good at it. That's why I'm sitting here. That's why I'm sitting here in Ross's.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, exactly.
Great question. So I took 6 weeks off from throwing right when I got home, right? So that's really just downtime, kind of getting bigger and stronger, but really letting the arm rest. I do that. There's some guys that throw year round. I've never had that philosophy, and I'm going to stick with what's worked for me. Now that I'm full-blown throwing, I'll give you kind of what my day looks like now. I wake up with my son around 7:30. we got about 2 hours to kind of just kick it father-son time and have our mornings together. And then I leave the house around 9:30 to go play catch. And right now I'm long tossing twice a week, playing catch 5, maybe 6 times a week, but long tossing twice a week. Today, for instance, I got out to 250 feet, which is letting it eat pretty good. And then from there, we make our way to the gym and work out. And, now is the time to get as big and as strong as you can, man, because in 162 games, you wear down. And there's not a lot of time where you can really get in the gym and be like, hey, my body feels great. I'm going to try and set a PR today. I'm going to try and squat, trap bar, bench, whatever, the guy does, the most that I can today. That doesn't happen in a 162 game season. Your body won't survive. So now is where you just get absolutely as big, strong, fast, powerful as you can. And so that's, the weight room stuff that I'm doing. And then from there, you'll condition. I do physical therapy twice a week. So I see a physical therapist. We work on hip mobility, lower back stuff. This has been a problem of mine for my whole career, shoulder, forearm, like just making sure the body's, I'm going to be 32 going into the season, man. So making sure the body's in a good spot. And, usually walking back in the door around 2, maybe a little after 2, and then have the rest of the afternoon to be a dad and enjoy the family time while I'm home. And it's still 80 degrees in Houston. So we're out and about having a good time. So it's, they're long days, but they're not crazy. I would say that's, pretty normal for a big league pitcher, I imagine.
So Ross, now that Robbie's out in Seattle, you mentioned getting bigger and stronger. Is this your time? Is this the opportunity to maybe cinch the jersey up an inch? Maybe, I guess, decrease the pant size half a length? Is that the plan for 2022, hopefully?
You know what? I'm not even sure if Robbie actually decreased the size of his jersey or if he just got that much bigger. I really never asked. I'm gonna stick with what I've been rocking my career. I don't think I can paint him on quite as tight as Robbie did.
Oh man! Well, if you did, you'd have an instant Twitter account because somebody would make one for you.
Yeah.
So speaking of, we're having fun now. Speaking of, we talked to you last time. I think it was last time you were on, or maybe the first time you were on, about your chicken strip nickname. Obviously, when you were in LA, and of course that's kind of transitioned throughout the rest of your career. But we had a different idea that if the chicken strip sponsorship stuff doesn't work out for you,
we've been campaigning, Ross. We must let you know we have done a little bit of work on it, but.
We've been talking about this as maybe another avenue you can look at. I know in Canada, the beef industry is big. And you're in Texas, obviously the beef industry is big down there too. So we were thinking, I don't know, Jordan, can you throw the picture up? Every time you took the mound, there could be a special at the concession, the Ross strip loin. Now, I think we could probably do a better photo shoot with you.
Graphic design is our passion, Ross, as you can see.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You were wearing a towel
Whose
in the
arms
picture.
are those? That's somebody's.
They're Robbie's.
Somebody's flexing some muscle there. Yeah, for real.
We were going to say you might have to work out a little bit more to match that picture, but we thought maybe every time you took the mound, there could be a strip loin special or something at the there it is. Strikeout hunger. I don't know. It sounds like it's a pretty good. It seemed like a fit. If you guys want to talk to that with your agent, feel free.
And once you guys get a deal done, Ross, we'll talk royalties later. It's all good.
Yeah.
The Ross strip loin. I don't know.
I'm a big fan. I've never seen that before. Strip loin. That's super creative. So if whoever came up with that, please give them my props. I think that's amazing. Yeah, well done. I don't know. A sirloin's not exactly cheap. Like a chicken tender or chicken strip is. So it's going to be kind of a pricey day at the stadium. But I do like where our head's at, no doubt.
Premium products for premium guys,
Exactly.
Like, we don't want to go cheap on this.
There we go. We got the tagline. We got everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, Max, you wanted to fire some Christmas questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you said, Ross, right? It's feeling festive. It's that time of year, less than 2 weeks out till Christmas now. My goodness, I can't believe it. Yeah. But what does a Christmas look like in the Stripling household? Was there traditions that you guys follow? Is there something that you're maybe going to implement new this year, obviously, with the new young one? What does a Christmas look like in Ross Stripling's household?
Great question, man. I grew up with 2 boys, me and my brother. So Christmas was great, but now that I'm married and my wife has 2 sisters, Christmas in a girl's household is much different. So I realized we didn't have these crazy Christmases growing up. It was very much wake up and do the Santa thing when I was young, which was great. And then you kind of go to the grandparents' house, right? And eat some good food and just be a family. Which is definitely what my wife's family does too, but it's just at such a much bigger level. But it's so much fun. And, what's crazy in the baseball life, man, we're gone for 8 months out of the year, right? So you try and see everyone for holidays, which can be a lot. And luckily my son does great in cars, but we're going to be cruising around, man. We got like 3 or 4 stops to make throughout the state to see various family members, both on my side and my wife's side. So that'll be fun. It's kind of like having 4 Christmases, but it's a lot to take in just a couple of days, no doubt. But as far as traditions, man, not so much. We still love to do stockings. I don't think we'll ever outgrow stockings. Both sides love stockings. Both grandmothers love giving stockings, so that's always fun. But it's we don't cook like the same food every year or anything like that. So maybe we're kind of keep it simple, just family time and enjoy it.
That's awesome. No, and I guess, and pardon the Christmas pun here, but to wrap things up, once again, thank you very much for your time tonight, Ross. But let's do a little bit more a festive rapid fire, as it were. I got a few for you to round out here, and we'll see what we can accomplish. But your favorite all-time Christmas movie?
I like Elf. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it never gets old.
Favorite food dish or item to overindulge in that Coach Pete Walker might not approve of?
Ooh, good question.
I didn't read that part of the question in the script, Coach Pete.
I'm stuck on Thanksgiving foods. Like, I don't know, what are traditional Christmas
some of it
foods?
carries over.
Yeah,
honestly.
it really
Some
does.
Of it
It's kind of a double up on turkey sometimes, mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't know.
Yeah, mashed potatoes are always the one that I go back for seconds. Always. Like, get a healthy one, make sure everyone get like a healthy portion, make sure everyone gets some, and then I'll go soak up the rest.
Nice. So one teammate from another country who you'd enjoy spending Christmas with to try out some of their traditions and, I guess, cultural festivities?
Great question. It's Hunjin, no doubt. I've been telling Hunjin since I was a rookie with the Dodgers, and he was over there too, that I'm one day I'm just going to show up in Seoul, South Korea, and I'm just going to hang out with him for a week, and he's not going to have a choice. So hopefully it's over Christmas time, and he can show me their traditions and what they do. There's no doubt in my mind they do it big, and I would love to be a part of that. That'd be a blast.
That's a great answer. Favorite Christmas present you've ever received?
Yeah, that's easy. I woke up to a ping pong table one time, and that just started like instant love. I mean, I love playing ping pong. I can basically compete with everyone besides Clayton Kershaw. I don't even know if I've ever beat him. He waxes me every time, but I'm a pretty good ping pong player. But I remember walking down the stairs when I was young, and me and my brother saw that. And I think it's, for the next 2 years of our life, every night before bed, we're just hammering ping pong balls at each other.
Good for hand-eye, right? Good for PFPs. The skills translate, right?
Exactly.
It's great. I got one more for you, Ross, and I think we'll let you go for the night. But
I got one more fan question.
Oh, sorry, you got one more fan question. But I got one more rapid fire here.
Really quick one.
If you could ask Ross and Mark for a Christmas present on behalf of the team, what would it be going into 2022?
Free soda in the pop machines.
Oh, man.
There's a Moneyball reference for you.
That's not a bad one. Yeah, ice cream machine in the locker room. Man, great question. Oh gosh,
it can be a goofy one too. Like, it doesn't have to be a roster one. It can be like something funny.
I don't want to make it super serious.
I mean, you guys implement the Ross strip loin on the WestJet flight deck.
There you go.
Ooh,
the WestJet flight deck.
How about like we move the mound up 6 inches in the Rogers Center and we don't tell anybody?
I like
we move it like 6 inches closer to
just
the
us. Nobody's got to know.
Are they going to move it back? Is that still happening? Moving it back? Wasn't that in the discussions?
Well, sort of. I mean, it won't happen in the CBA or anything. I guess I can't promise that, but it seems that way. But in the Atlantic League, which is an independent ball, they moved it back to 61 feet 6 inches. Moved it back a full foot.
Did you know about this game's hard enough, man? Like,
yeah, pitchers have it hard enough as it is. Exactly.
Yeah, my 90-mile-an-hour heater is not going to survive well at 61 and a half feet. I can promise you that.
Ross,
I'm going to be throwing curveballs from the moon. Oh, my gosh. I'd have to throw my curveball like I'd have to aim it like a foot higher.
Kevin will teach you his splitter. It'll all be good. You can just ditch the fastball altogether.
That tweet you sent out a couple weeks ago, Ross, I can't tell you how much I was laughing about the average fastball speed in the league. Oh, my gosh. I texted Max. I think I laughed for like 20 minutes reading that tweet. One question from a fan. We got Joe here from Ontario. That's his name, Joe from Ontario. He was just saying, I wonder how different training as a dual role player is now with obviously Shohei coming in and kind of doing his thing. We've seen and heard of a couple other people maybe coming up the ranks. I know that one of the Blue Jays prospects, actually, Max. I don't know if you've heard of this, Hagen Donner. Now, Ross, I don't know if you've had any encounters with Hagen, but he is
what a name,
right?
He needs an ice cream deal.
He's part of the franchise, exactly. If he comes up, we can have a Ross Stripling and Hagen Donner combo meal at the concession.
I like it.
But he is, 23. So he's in the Blue Jays organization. You might bump into him at training camp. He's a catcher who's converting to pitcher. Right. So he's converting. I don't know if he's going to play double, because I think catcher and pitcher would be kind of hard to do a dual role. But how different would training be if you have to train for both? I mean, it's got to be a massive difference.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. What Shohei did this season, I mean, I can't even really fathom it. I mean, just the workload to be a starting pitcher is insane. I mean, it really is. To stay healthy and pitch every 5 days over the course of 162 games is crazy. And I know at the end of the day, that's only working 32 times. But, man, the stress that it puts on your body and the travel and all the stuff that goes into it is wild. So then on top of that, I'm going to put on BP every day, and I'm going to hit the leadoff spot for the Los Angeles Angels and hit 40 homers and steal 30 bags or whatever he did, and have to play in the field occasionally. I mean, it like I said, I took 6 weeks off. I hope he hasn't gotten off his couch yet. Like, I hope he's just absolutely, like, I hope he takes an Epsom salt bath every night. I mean, I can't imagine how he feels. And, props to anyone that does it. And I hope they can sustain it. I mean, he's so amazing for our game and such an, once in a generation talent, no doubt about it. But man, as far as preparing for it, I bet he kind of trial by fire. His first couple of years, kind of not staying healthy, struggling, and that kind of stuff. Now, hopefully, he's got a good routine down that keeps him on the field every day, because that's what we need, and that's what I hope for him. So I don't know, man. It comes down to listening to your body and just doing your best.
Yeah, Vladdy for MVP. I'll just say it. Vladdy for MVP.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement here. Anyways, Ross, thanks for tuning in. We'll let you go, get back to the family. But again, we're going to hold you to it, and we're probably going to bring you on before every start now that you mentioned it. You can be our Aaron Rodgers. Pat McAfee has Aaron Rodgers on every week.
There we go.
There you go. Ross, you just signed up for a commitment I don't think you're ready to sign up for.
Perfect.
We just got to get the strip loin worked out. We'll get it figured.
Yeah, once we get the strip loin money rolling. Anyways, Ross, we'll let you go. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll good luck with the rest of the offseason, obviously, especially as a union rep, and we'll be keeping an eye on it all.
Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, Ross.
Yeah, same to you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thanks for having me, guys.
Take care, Ross.
Of course, Ross Stripling joins us on behalf of IKS Media. IKS brings you all of our video chats each and every week, and we have to give them a big shout out because they are your premier destination for event planning, live broadcasts, video screens, entertainment, and so much more. Visit iksmedia.ca today to see everything that they have to offer from all of their different departments.